Rain is likely. 59 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. You do have a clear radar. Tonight's low down to 37. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Get ready for rain, wind, and thunderstorms headed your way the next couple of days. Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says some of these storms could be severe.
We could see some additional storms tomorrow. Now, it would be a little more active late this evening tonight than it will be tomorrow, but we could see some isolated stuff late tomorrow as well.
Updike says wind gusts could reach 25 miles an hour Thursday and climb to the 40s by Friday. A bill being discussed at the State House would restrict officers without specific training from exercising full powers while off duty or outside their jurisdictions.
But many police agencies across Indiana say they're not a fan of that. I'm John Herrick. Like Southport Police Chief Tom Vaughn, who said at a town hall Tuesday night that his department took more than 200 reports outside the Southport jurisdiction last year and made more than 100 arrests.
So if you add all those numbers up, that's runs IMPD would have to take, right, if we can't leave. Well, if they're already struggling to take the runs they have now, how are they going to do that?
The bill was approved by the House, and it gets reviewed by the Senate next. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Indianapolis Rolls-Royce workers may strike over a pay system that locks them into different wages and benefits based on seniority. The UAW says there's no way to move up.
But we want the same equal treatment as the guy next to us is getting.
Rolls-Royce worker Travis Riddle talking with Wish TV. The UAW says workers voted to approve a strike. And the odds of an asteroid hitting Earth in 2032 have dropped to less than a fraction of a percent. Purdue University planetary sciences professor Brandon Johnson says there's not much to worry about on that front for a good while.
Yeah, so right now, in the next 100 years, we don't really know of any really hazardous asteroids that are likely to hit the Earth.
He says it's important to keep on studying them so we can learn more about the solar system. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
If you need to sell your home, if you need to buy a new home, if you need to do both, the only local real estate expert I would trust is Mark Deedle. Here's what Greg in Franklin had to say. My tenant moved out of my investment property and I was ready to sell. I heard about Mark on the radio and everything they say is true. In 15 days on the market, I had a cash offer I wanted on the property. Selling with Mark Deedle was fast, easy, and profitable.
Mark Deedle is the best in the business because of the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is what separates Mark Deedle from the competition. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Deedle today. At least start a conversation. 317-755-4232 or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison crash downtown, northbound 6570 of Washington. It's on the right shoulder, slow into the south split. At eastbound 70, stop and go back to Harding Street from the south split for a 9-minute delay. Crash on the southwest side involves a motorcycle. Harding at Raymond Street, somebody's hurt there. Crash on the northwest side, Lafayette Road at Tibbs Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mainly cloudy skies for the day today. Some scattered showers may be possible with highs right around 59. The showers come to an end later tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows near 38. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So
my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. President Trump's first cabinet meeting was today. We're not even through the end of February. I think Joe Biden's first cabinet meeting was like well into the middle of the year after his inauguration. Here we are, the middle of February, and Trump, all the players were there. All the guys. I picture it like I often wondered, like, if like a guy was going to sneak in with a boiling teapot and set it in somebody's hand vigorously like a Naked Gun at the beginning.
Wow.
That's what first thing I
First
pictured.
cabinet meeting, and the first thing you thought of was the tea kettle pot scene from The Naked Gun.
Leslie Nielsen sneaks in and sets the hot tea kettle on Hegseth's hand. I don't know why I thought that, but I all the players were there, man, and stuff has started and stuff is getting done.
So, serious question.
Yes.
Who has led more cabinet meetings? Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Jill Biden?
Well,
Because remember, towards the end, the good doctor was running the show.
Jill has got the edge on both of them right now. If we're talking this Trump administration, yeah, Jill.
And that's ridiculous, but it is what it is. So, all your favorite TV pals, from Pete Hegseth to Marco Rubio, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., all there today, the first cabinet meeting. Here is Elon Musk addressing what he thinks is going on with Doge right now.
The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt, now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending like over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing; it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here, and taking a lot of flack and getting a lot of death threats. By the way, I'd like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done.
Wow, it's kind of sad that Donald Trump had to bring in a third party, a guy that's not part of Congress or any, he's not an elected official. It's sad that he had to bring in a third party to come in and start lecturing people.
Right.
In the cabinet. Like I felt like at one point Elon should have said, this is all stuff you guys should have been doing the first time around, which Donald Trump could have had a hand in too.
You're absolutely right with that. Now, I also think it's sad that Elon Musk has had so many death threats from the peaceful, tolerant left that he has to make jokes about it. Yeah, a lot of death threats. I mean, sure, some of that was probably just Elon's nervous laughter. He's not a great speaker.
He's not.
This is a little bit outside of his comfort zone, speaking to people. He's getting better at it, but it's ridiculous when you have to joke about the amount of death threats that have came your way. Here's a little bit more from Elon Musk.
Doge is a support function for the president and for the agencies and departments to help achieve those savings and to effectively find 15% in reduction in fraud and waste. And we bring the receipts. So people say, like, well, is this real? Just go to doge.gov. We line item by line item, we specify each item. So. And I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September. But we can do it, and we will do it.
Let that sink in. About how much corruption and how poor your money is managed in Washington. $4 billion a day is the goal. They want to be down $1 trillion by 2026, right?
Sure.
That's a lot of money. Your money that's just being flushed right down the old crapper. Unbelievable.
I love how some of these mainstream legacy news outlets are describing Trump's first cabinet meeting like this is, what is this? Is this an NBC News? This is CNN, a news outlet. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, the anti-vaccine activist, poised to drastically shift priority, blah, blah, blah. They're just listing all the people that were there to but he's not anti-vaccine. He's not anti-vaccine. He was anti-mandate. He was probably has some questions about the COVID vaccine and is going to set up a legitimate injury reporting system But I just watching the mainstream media report on who was there and how they describe who was there is pretty fun to watch.
I'm pretty sure he's on board if you have polio
measles,
and
right.
you need that vaccine. But that's the way things are going to be positioned
Right.
when you're in the Trump administration. Trump offering an immigration gold card. Like an immigration Willy Wonka style golden ticket. Like, for argument's sake here, let's say that no good, worthless Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka was actually from Chile, and he comes here illegally, and he's in bed, and he can't get up, and he can't get a job. Lo and behold, here comes the gold card. For the low price of $5 million, Grandpa Joe's up. He's hiring people. He's on a fast track to citizenship, Nige.
I don't know if I need some more time with this.
Here, let me let the old man explain this to you, and then you can share your thoughts right afterwards.
All right.
We're going to be doing something else that's going to be very, very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people.
Now, one of the people that were around him, the inner circle folks, said, yes, they will be fully vetted. So you're not going to have some wealthy-backed, Al-Qaeda terrorists
Some
saying,
Russian oligarch. Yeah, right.
So that do anything for you from the people who brought you the green card? Now comes the gold card.
I thought we weren't supposed to be making money off the backs of people that wanted to move here. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And I feel like if you're rich enough, if you're a foreigner and can afford a $5 million gold card to become an American citizen, what's it matter anyway? You can have dual citizenship. You could probably wait out. I mean, it takes some time to become an American citizen. I have relatives that,
it's a process.
It took maybe not a decade, but close to it, and tens of thousands of dollars to become an American citizen. I just don't see some guy in Saudi Arabia, some oil baron, saying, $5 million to be an American citizen where I can just go over there right now if I want to anyway and then come back home.
I'd rather wait the 10 years than pay the $5 million.
Yeah. I mean, some of those guys, $5 million is a drop in the bucket.
Sure.
All right, fine. I'll become an American citizen. Send them a check for $5 million right now. Fine.
Now, with this gold card, does that mean I get to cut the lines when I want to check into my favorite hotel? Like, do I get to cut the people who just have green cards?
No.
Oh, you're here working on a green card? Well, I bought the gold card, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be checking into my room now.
All for multi-millionaires, billionaires moving into the United States and creating industry, creating businesses, spending money, paying taxes. That's a great thing. I don't know that what do I know? I think a $5 million gold card is kind of ridiculous.
If I flash that at the sports book at Caesar's Palace in Vegas, do I get a drink ticket then at the very least? Because I got a problem with the policies in Vegas right now.
I know you do.
$50 bet at the sports book should warrant at least a Miller Lite.
And?
That's all I'm saying. No. They've got it based on your reward, account. Now, I don't play Caesars a lot. I go to Vegas maybe once a year. So obviously I'm not like the platinum level player for them, but I bet $50 a game while I'm out there.
Sure.
No, you got to bet $100 a game to get one measly drink ticket. One darn ticket.
Stupid.
Right.
Stupid. I sat there at the Mirage in the late 90s and watched the Pacers in the playoffs and played Keno for 3 hours and got fed free Miller Lights and free drinks just for spending dollars, literally just a few dollars on Keno, and they were sending us out free Miller Lights.
Oh, it's a whole new ball game now. And don't get me started on resort fees. So a random Monday at the Flamingo.
That's where you were just at, right?
Right. Off season, Monday. It's not football season. There's no Monday night football. You could get a basic you-know-what room for like $39.99, right? $40 room right there in the middle of the strip. The resort fee, $50. The resort fee is more expensive than the actual room rate. So between that and not getting the drink ticket when I should have.
Well, did they mention any of that in Trump's first cabinet meeting today? The resort fee problem we have in this country?
I was waiting for Pete Hegseth to speak up on it because I feel like this is national security. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on, my friend?
Eastbound 70. Or stop and go traffic Harding to the south split. That's a 9-minute delay. Inbound 65 grinding 29th at 2 Meridian Pen. A crash on the south side on the exit from northbound 65 to 465. Ramp is open, but it is partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. At Code Radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here in just about 15 minutes, our pal Scot Pollard will join us in studio. Former Pacer player, had a long run in the NBA, just passed the 1-year anniversary of a heart transplant.
Incredible.
And we'll see how he's doing. We'll see, the progress and how others can help. So that's coming up here in just about 15 minutes. Jump in that YouTube chat right now. I know Ethan Hatcher, weekend host, is in there. He's chatting it up with the folks. But up next, something we haven't done in a little while, a good old-fashioned Hammer's Hero.
Oh.
That is on the way. Do not go anywhere. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through March 23rd, get Xfinity Gig Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add an unlimited mobile line. Plus, get free Wi-Fi equipment included for 2 years. Switch today and join the network that delivers gig speed to the most homes. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan auto post or bank account. Taxes and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After 12 months, internet rate increases to $65. After 24 months, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Reduce mobile speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds and actual internet speeds vary.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
And now, it's time for
Hammer's Heroes! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Hammer, a karate instructor. Karate. That's how you pronounce it.
Now, is this the karate man that was allegedly doing the hibbity-dibbity with Tom Brady's old lady?
That's a jiu-jitsu.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's get our martial
Kevin
arts.
Hart called him the karate man in
Is
the
that
roast.
right?
The karate man. In the roast of Tom Brady.
Roast?
Yes.
The karate instructor who took down a purse snatcher in Philly last Thursday. So his chick was outside yelling for help. Guy ran out, chased the other dude down, gave him a hard kick to the leg. Oh, there's nothing worse. The guy dropped like a bag of dirt and ran off. Here is Jennifer and Steven. Steven's the guy, the karate instructor,
man,
telling the story.
And I'm just screaming bloody murder like a complete lunatic, like, stop him, stop him, stop him, help, 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 to anyone around.
I caught up with him, and then I gave him a kick on the leg. As I got him a kick on the leg, he dropped the bag and stumbled, and then he kept running away.
Literally out of nowhere, like a ninja, this guy appears like a ninja, and he's like, here you go. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, is this happening? He is an amazing human.
I would do it in a heartbeat again.
Hammer's Heroes.
Absolutely. And you know who we really need to thank for this? Actor William Zabka. He was the one that played Johnny Lawrence in the Karate Kid movie.
Yeah, sure.
And because of the spinoff, Cobra Kai, which just wrapped up their conclusion on Netflix, I think karate's back mainstream again. So you got karate dudes doing Tom Brady's old lady, you got karate dudes dominating Netflix, and karate dudes winning the day, beating up punks in Philadelphia. Thank you, William Zabka.
Are you, if you're standing there, it sounds like this karate instructor not only was, it's not like the guy ran past him, the assailant. Like the karate instructor had to chase the guy down that stole the purse.
Sure.
To chase him down, and then he did some sort of sweep the leg kind of thing, a la, put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Right.
Would you, as a civilian that is not familiar in the ways of the martial art, would you have done the same thing? Would you have tried to stop the purse snatcher?
I would have shot him. I'm not chasing anybody down these days. I would try. I'm not catching anybody. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
I've talked to Guy Relford enough. I know what my rights are. I know what I can probably get away with.
I would assume Guy Relford would tell you not to shoot the guy either. Just letting you know that right now.
I'm just saying, if you want a bad guy to go away, what odds do I have a better chance in making that happen with? Chasing him down and sweeping the leg or shooting him in the anus? I'm going for choice number B. Right there. Letter B.
What do you want to do? We got a couple more Hammer's Heroes here. You want to do the next one here, Nebraska?
Let's do Nebraska.
Okay, a Nebraska man dealing with a mess. This is what Doge was created for, I think. His daughter never received a birth certificate or social security number. She was mistakenly given the computer-generated name Unikite 13 Hotel.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. If you've ever had one of those things where a password is generated for you, sometimes it's, a video game system or a website you're getting
on your iPhone or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This one was automatically generated as Unikite 13 Hotel, but the dad never really went back and changed anything, and this was this girl's name.
Yeah, so here's Jason Kilburn and his lawyer talking about what amounts to a big-time paperwork bureaucratic nightmare.
It kills me that I wasn't able to be there when she was born, because it wouldn't have happened like it did.
The document that is her birth certificate has the term for government use only on it, and obviously Jason, not being a member of the government, does not have the ability to use that document. When I started working with Jason, I was in disbelief at what was happening.
See, there's your problem. You're in disbelief that something the government did. The government screwed something up and you're in disbelief? Yeah. That's on you. Yeah, I fully expect the government to screw everything up.
Whoever messed that up didn't hit reply to Elon Musk over the weekend.
What would you say you do here? What are your accomplishments over the last couple of days?
Real quick, I just wanted to mention this here. Millions of remote workers being required to return to the office.
They're melting down, too.
You and I have been in the office the whole time. I feel fortunate. I feel lucky. You and I have been able to come to this studio since 2020 around this time, and we never stopped. But some people, they hit the office. They don't have jobs like we do.
Tony Katz has a job like we do, and he's never here.
So, if you're listening to this, you work in the government, you work in the private industry, you've been working from home for several years, it's a rough transition. Hammer and Nigel have some tips for you.
Oh.
First of all, you'll need something to cover your legs and groin area. No, not a pillow. They're called pants. Make sure your pants come with a button and zipper, not a drawstring or elastic waistband. Secondly, you'll need to go back to taking showers. Yes, every day, with soap. The best thing about Zoom meetings was no one could smell you. And finally, the biggest adjustment will be commuting. You will curse and make cruel nicknames for other drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Don't feel guilty. They are also cursing and nicknaming you. On the plus side, all those extra hours spent in your car mean more time listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Good luck returning to the office. Don't forget your pants.
Okay, you hear that, Jeffrey Toobin? Don't forget your pants. All right, Scot Pollard, friend of the show, former Indiana Pacer.
Hell yeah.
He's going to join us in studio next. We're going to catch up, see how that ticker of his is doing, and see how others can help out as well. That's coming up next. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance. And with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You gotta check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. andymoreford.com.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
windy and rainy, partly cloudy, 61 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You do have a clear radar at the moment, low of 37 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Expect winds to gust up to 40 miles an hour by the time you get to Friday, with breezy conditions sticking around over the next couple of days.
So if you've got any, decorations, if you're starting to put out any spring decorations, or if you've got trash cans or things like that, just make sure you have them tied down so those they don't blow away.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says expect thunderstorms tomorrow. President Trump says he's going to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky during his first cabinet meeting.
I'm watching soldiers being killed, Ukrainian and Russian soldiers being killed. My number one thing is to get that stopped. My number two thing is I don't want to have to pay any more money.
The U.S. has supported Ukraine mostly with military supplies since the war with Russia started. President Trump has proposed a deal with Zelensky, giving the U.S. access to the nation's rare earth minerals as compensation for all that help. And the Trump administration is also telling federal agencies to prepare for large-scale layoffs. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Billionaire Elon Musk joined the first cabinet meeting of President Trump's second term, detailing plans to eliminate thousands of federal workers.
We wish to keep everyone who is doing a job that is essential and doing that job well.
A memo from the Office of Management and Budget directs cabinet secretaries and agency heads to prepare for a large-scale reduction in force and develop reorganization plans by March 13th. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Equal pay for equal work. That's what Rolls-Royce workers in Indianapolis want as their contract runs out. The deal covers 800-plus engine builders, and they've already voted to strike if needed.
You think about that. If we stand alone, we're easily defeated. But when we stand together as a united working class, as a united membership, we're unstoppable.
Sean Fain with the UAW said the union will announce on Facebook Live at 10 tonight if they're going to go on strike. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
The traffic at 3:34. How are the roads, Matt Bear?
Hancock County has a crash. Harrison westbound 70 a few miles after Fortville Pike. It's actually almost right in between State Road 9 and Mount Comfort Road, just on the shoulder. No delay at this moment. Eastbound 465 northeast side stop and go traffic. Keystone Avenue over to I-69. Inbound 65, just a 3-minute delay to make a 21st to Meridian bed. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown. Harding Street into the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping at Code Radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mainly cloudy skies for the day today. Some scattered showers may be possible with highs right around 59. The showers come to an end later tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows near 38. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Guess who's back again? You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hello. Nigel, Jason Hammer right over there with a very special in-studio guest.
Man, this is a dude that's been good to us for a long time.
Hell
long
yeah.
before we had this little nickel and dime pony show on the radio here. We did the podcast. I go back with him a couple stations ago. Former Indiana Pacer, Kansas Jayhawk, and has got brand new heart. It seems like it's holding up all right. Scott Pollard, how are you?
Hey, what's up, guys?
I was
Thanks for having me on.
I went to kind of like give Scott a bro hug when he came in, but I wanted to be gentle because I know he's got the new heart, and I just was like, dude, I do like 100 push-ups every day.
A year ago, that would have been a problem.
Right, I understand. Yeah,
like,
but
right
now
after surgery, they give you a pillow to and I had to ride in the back seat because if an airbag goes off, you die.
Oh, wow.
So they think that far ahead
Yes.
in terms of your doctors and the medicine and like the hospital. They say right in the back seat because if you do get in if the airbag goes off,
You will
boom.
crush all the fresh because they cut through your breastplate, they open you all the way up. I mean, it's you're healing a lot.
This wasn't like a widowmaker. Like, we're gonna go through the groin and put a stent in. This was brand new heart. This is like something on a whole different level.
I got a virus right after I had my annual heart check because my dad died on the transplant list because in 1991 you had to be the same size as the person that's getting your heart. And my dad was 6'9", 380.
Pollards are big men.
Yes. So back then the technology didn't exist. I'll abbreviate the story for obvious purposes. But so he died on the transplant list because the doctor was like, the San Diego Zoo has a gorilla over there, but we're not going to do that because it won't work.
Right.
And so when they started after, I got checked all the time. Every year I get checked. And January of 2021 had just my annual. Everything was perfect. And because it was the COVID times, the doctors were like, you should get a COVID shot. I was like, no. And then they were like, you should get a flu shot at least. It'll help protect you against the COVIDs. And I was like, last time I got a flu shot was when I got traded from the Detroit Pistons to the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks, as part of their physical, gave me a flu shot. I got so sick, they cut me. So as a matter of principle and also my physical reaction, I was like, I'm never doing another flu shot. Kids, the doctors are like, oh, you had a kid, you should get a flu shot to protect the kid. Never got a flu shot again until late February of 2021. I got it, and a couple days later, I got a virus, a flu virus. They tested me for the COVIDs. It was not that. And it gave me... it attacked my heart. It released what we now know was a genetic issue, but that's similar to what my dad had. My dad.
What released the virus, or the flu shot?
The virus released. I got the flu right after I got the shot. It was 2 days.
Do you have questions about the shot?
I have questions about the flu shot, but that's
okay.
Let's not go down that path. Yeah. Let's just go down. My body doesn't like shots.
Okay,
of that sort. But let's say 2 days later, it's unmistakable that I was not sick. My heart was awesome, and then all of a sudden, I can't get up and walk across the room without passing out. And so I went into the place, the urgent care, and they were like, "You need to go to the heart hospital." I was like, "That's funny." No, I'm fine. I'll go home. And I went home for a couple days, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
This isn't good. So that's what started it in 2021. A couple months later, in heart failure, my doctors were like, you should get the COVID shot, because if you get COVID now, you'll die. And I was like, nah, that's probably not a good idea. Now, I don't want to blame the shot. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling the audience what to do. I'm saying this is my reality. This is what happened to me. You do you, okay? Everybody listening, do you. If you think it's great, go for it. Got the first shot, I was fine. Second shot, I got put in the hospital in Chicago. I was supposed to be getting an ablation to help my heart, and I was hospitalized for 4 days on IV steroids with myocarditis, pericarditis. I almost died. So,
and when you say you almost died, this, came down to the nitty gritty here, right?
Well, this was July of 21.
Okay.
This was right after I got the second shot of the whatever it was, the Pfizer one, I think it was. So, again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not saying anything
all right, man.
other than this is my reality. Yeah. This is what happened to me. I'm not getting any more shots. My kids aren't getting shots just in case, because they might react to it the way I am. And so why I did. So when it came around to transplant, as I said earlier, my dad died on the transplant list. 3 years later, 3 ablations later at the University of Chicago. So I've got my team at St. Vincent's here, Dr. Chowdhury, who's been awesome. We're very close. The doctors at University of Chicago, who I met through some other friends of mine, they're all working together, and they're like, hey, we'll do the ablations up here. We've got a guy that's world-renowned. And they realized after the third one, they said it was like whack-a-mole. I don't have plumbing issues. I don't have the widowmaker. I didn't have any cholesterol issues. It was never The good side of my genetics is that our pipes are clean. This was all electrical. This was 100%, like plumbing was great.
Yeah.
Electrical was what the virus clicked in my body and was like, okay, now we're just going to make your heart beat 10,000 extra beats a day. And that's what was happening. It was like I was running uphill every day. And a year and a half ago, I couldn't have this conversation and keep this thought in my head or with breathing.
Yeah.
I would have had to stop multiple times during this conversation already to just breathe.
And when you were on that waiting list for a new heart, did you think, man, what if I'm destined to be like my old man here? Like, did that cross your mind?
Oh, yeah. September, when Dr. Chowdhury mentioned, hey, we should probably start talking about transplant. The ablations aren't working. This is genetic. It's like whack-a-mole. They said every time we zap one, we're killing a piece of your heart. We're trying to stop the short circuit, and another one pops up behind it. So my Dr. Chowdhury was like, hey, we should probably start talking about transplant. And yes, Hammer, that's the first thing I thought of was, well, I'm going to die just like my dad. And they said, nope, medicine's come a long way, technology's come a long way, and I am a living testament to the fact that things have gotten a lot better since 1991 when my dad died on the transplant list.
We're chatting with Scot Pollard, a longtime NBA player, played college basketball at Kansas, and about a year removed from a heart transplant. Now, we spoke, I think it was a couple months after you had the procedure. It was on the telephone, and you weren't like jumping up and down saying, I'm going to make it, I'm going to live. It was very subdued. You made it very clear that this was kind of a fix. It's not that you're going to be living to your 100 years old and you're ready to run 8 marathons. You were pretty subdued back then. Do you still feel the same way?
You have to be cautiously optimistic. The 1-year tests results all came back great. My kidneys are stable, which is a huge concern because of the anti-rejection drugs. They typically cause kidney failure. I was in stage 3 kidney failure for the most of that first year. I'm now stabilized. I still might be actually in stage 3 kidney failure, but I'm stabilized. So they're not as worried about my kidneys. But most people that have a heart transplant end up getting a kidney transplant because the drugs were on. Really? So what they say is you've traded one chronic condition for another. I'm immunosuppressed for life. I take drugs every 12 hours that they're not good. They're not good. They keep my heart from rejecting.
I saw you in the hospital with the norovirus. I saw you on Facebook a couple of weeks ago with the stomach thing or with the flu.
Yeah, it was flu A is what they said. And they don't mess around with a transplant. They were like, hey, we're going to make sure that it's not cardiac. They put me in the hospital right away here at St. Vincent's. Again, Dr. Chowdhury and his team are awesome. I had my transplant at Vanderbilt, but they're acting like I'm their patient, and it's just great. It's great to be having that's not great English, but it's great to have 3 different transplant centers watching over you. I had University of Chicago, a great team up there, and my team here at St. Vincent's and also Vanderbilt, which I'm still a patient at Vanderbilt just because I feel like because of my unique situation, you never want to be an interesting case.
Right.
I'm the interesting case. I'm the tallest guy that's ever been transplanted. I'm the tallest.
Really?
Oh yeah. Vanderbilt just set a world record last year at 174 transplants in 1 year, heart transplants. They did hundreds more transplants last year. In a year.
Wow.
To compare, St. Vincent's told me in 23 they did 28 transplants. University of Chicago said we do about double that, so they're in the 50-ish range. And that year of 23, Vanderbilt had done 128. So Vanderbilt is leading the world in transplants, and they're like, you're the tallest guy we've ever transplanted. I actually contacted the Guinness Book of World Records. and
I want that record.
After months, they said it's not a competition. There's nobody else that's applied for it, unlike the tallest person in the world, tallest person ever lived.
They need to put you on that back page next to those fat people on the moped.
Yes, exactly. I was like, I'll be the people that are right next to the fat guys on the mopeds. But anyway, so it didn't. I didn't get the record because they said it's not technically a competition. Nobody's going for it.
But 10,000 people playing a kazoo is a record, though. That sucks.
Yeah, but they did say they did research and no one else has applied for that. So until someone proves me wrong, I'm the tallest man in the world that's ever been transplanted.
Take a little break here. When we come back, Scott's got some information. If you want to help out some other folks that may have been in Scott's position like that in some point in their lives, maybe they're in it right now. We'll talk about that. And I also want to dive into the relationship that you've been able to establish with the Donors family.
Yeah.
So Scott Pollard is joining us in studio. Jump in the YouTube chat. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. We're coming back.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Thousands of Hoosier veterans are struggling with homelessness, unemployment, and other urgent needs. With your help, Veteran Support Network provides housing, job training, food, and emergency assistance. And every dollar stays in Indiana. Veteran Support Network, in partnership with Dreisky Moving and Storage in Westfield, working together to support local veterans. Go to veteransupportnetwork.org to help with rent, utilities, auto repairs, home repairs, and more. Stand with Indiana veterans. Donate now at veteransupportnetwork.org.
My brother never checks on Dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119 plus a 4th room free and $75 off air duct cleaning too. Zero Res 317-388-5141.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door plus 2.99% financing.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Bayer, what's up?
Yeah, Hammer eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from West Street to the South Split. Crash in Hancock County westbound 70 between 200 and 400 west. It's just on the left shoulder with no delay right now. And eastbound 465 north side stop and go traffic from Keystone past Allisonville Road. Crash on the west side Washington at Raceway. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC. Scot Pollard joining us. You're the keynote speaker at this event coming up on March 22nd. Tell me about it.
Well, 62 degrees outside. That was my number when I played for the Pacers, too, because there was
There
that
you
guy
go.
named Reggie Miller, I think his name was.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have heard of that guy. Anyway, he wore number 31, which was my number my whole career because my father wore number 31. But, yeah, I can't wait for the Pearls of Life event. Get your tickets while they're hot. It's going to be a fun night. It's a swing theme, like 50s and 60s. The band is from here in Indianapolis, right here in River City. Sorry, that's a throwback to the Music Man.
Gotcha.
I grew up on musicals. My mother played the piano a lot. But
I never would have thought you as a musical guy.
Yeah, the sports was not really my jam. I grew up singing a lot. That was my thing. I was in little plays and stuff for the Mormon Church. But we can go into that on another show. Pearls of Life is going to be, the launch party is March 22nd. It's at Lucas Estate. I don't know if you've ever been there, but if you haven't, you should buy tickets just to go see this place. It's incredible.
I've driven past there.
Yeah.
I know they have a lot of charity events there.
You know, I don't know if you've heard of the Lucas family. They know this building that's really close to where we are right now.
Yeah, it's adjacent.
Their
to
names
here.
on
Yeah,
it,
right.
I believe. It's
Successful in a small business, Lucas Oil, actually.
I don't know if you've heard of Lucas
It's a little
Oil.
startup that they started. Yeah.
But I call it Billionaires Alley because they live near the other guy that's involved with that Lucas Oil Stadium, Ursay. I
Oh,
think.
sure.
Yeah, he lives close to that right there too. So you're driving by the Billionaires when you drive down that street. But anyway, the estate is amazing. The band is the Midtown Madmen. They play 50s and 60s like swing music. So dress up in swing attire like 50s and 60s.
Dude, that's kind of like my era, like that Rat Pack era, man. That's my thing.
It's going to be a fun party. We're going to make you cry. I'm going to make you laugh. My wife is going to speak. When Don Pollard speaks, the room listens. I don't know if you're old enough to remember those E.F. Hutton commercials, like when the guy would talk in the commercial and everybody was like, and everybody would lean in like, oh, what's he saying?
Right.
That's when Don Pollard starts speaking. She doesn't talk all the time in public, but when she does, everybody's like, what does that lady have to say? And so
it's
she's
usually
talking-
apologizing for something that you've said. it seems like.
That's a very common thing. Yes, you're not wrong there, Hammer. But yeah, Dr. Chowdhury's going to speak. He's on the board of Pearls of Life. Donna's going to speak. Dave Sider, the other board member, he's a treasurer of the charity. And it's just a launch party to promote organ donation, educate. The charity itself is that. It is to promote, educate about organ donation. And at some point, hopefully the charity gets big enough that they're able to give grants to families that have to travel for transplant like we did.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much money you have, going to live in another city and not work for months on end with no end date is an expensive proposition. The medical bills pile up. Your insurance does not cover everything. If you're lucky enough to have insurance, which I am, through the NBA, that covers. I'm over $2 million for my transplant right now.
Wow.
That the insurance is covered, and they didn't cover everything.
I've got the information on the Hammer and Nigel Twitter. So if you go to our Twitter right now, at Hammer and Nigel, there's a link for it. You can get all the information. And again, Scott's going to be the guest speaker. We've got about 2 minutes left here. I want to make sure we have some time for this. I'm fascinated with the relationship that you've been able to start with the family of the individual who provided the heart for you. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Casey got sick. His name is Casey Angel. That is a true story. He is my angel. His last name is Angel. And he got sick. He had lung issues, and there was just nothing they could do. Lung transplant was out of the question, I guess. But he was in and out of the hospital, finally got pneumonia and could not kick it. He was hospitalized February 2nd of 24. I was hospitalized February 6th of 24. So the fact that he was hospitalized at the same time, same blood type, O positive, which is the most common and the hardest, the most difficult for a heart transplant person you're competing against everyone else that's O positive, which is common. So it's hard. Plus the fact that I needed somebody that was bigger than
Big
most.
boy, yeah.
And he was big. And so it was just a whole bunch of miracles put together. They put the data out there in the world. There's no demographic information. It's just data. How sick are you? Where are you? And how bad is your need? I was listed at status 2 at Vanderbilt, and Casey's family made the decision after he was. They said there's no way we can
No other
bring him
options.
back. And so they made the decision for him. They thought he might have been a donor, but they made the decision. They did the honor walk. The honor walk is where the family and everyone in the hospital that's available stands up and watches the person walk down the hall or get carted down the hallway on their bed to go where the surgeons are going to retrieve their organs.
Man.
That is something that I've seen part of the video of
Never
Casey's.
even heard of that before.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it's called the Honor Walk, and it's just I've seen part of Casey's video, and it's just it's like that's my guy, that's my hero. And so, sorry, like this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the long version of this at the Pearls of Life launch party next month, where like I said, I'm gonna make you laugh, I'm gonna make you cry, because I'm probably gonna cry too.
And you talked to his family.
We have, and we're actually ESPN's gonna we're gonna go down there. ESPN is making an E60 about this whole thing. They filmed my entire transplant.
Wow.
They're going to. They're gonna film us meeting in person for the first time. They're in Texas, in a little town called Tyler. Actually, they're in Lindale, which is an even smaller town outside of Tyler. And we're gonna fly down there next month and meet them in person. And we are gonna have a sizzle reel from ESPN playing at the Pearls of Life launch party. So the E60 comes out on Father's Day, but the event's next month, March 22nd. Go to pearlsoflife.org, and I'll tell you all about Casey's family. They are amazing people. They seem like wonderful people. They made the decision for him.
And his legacy lives on. Like, I can't even imagine what they've gone through, but it would feel like, my son is still alive almost.
That's exactly what it is. All they care about is I'm doing well. When I went in the hospital last week, they were texting my wife, Dawn, every 5 seconds, like, how's he doing? Is he okay? What's going on? Because they want, like, this is their husband, their father. William is now my 13-year-old new son. Right? He just turned 13 last month, and I'm like, well, you're stuck with us because we're entwined. I got your dad's heart. So,
that's awesome.
It's just when people hear this other side of organ donation, they go, what was I thinking? Not being a donor. Like, you can be several people's heroes, and so that's what we're doing. That's what the whole party is for, and thank you for having me on to help promote this.
Pearls of Life. Check it out on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel. You can get all the information. Scott, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys, for having me on.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swanco 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
For all your home's heating, plumbing, and drain needs, remember the man for all seasons. Chapman. Furnace tune-ups right now, only $89. Schedule online today at chapmanheating.com. That's chapmanheating.com.
Your local news coming up in 2 minutes after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
First meeting of his new cabinet. President Trump taking questions on his efforts to broker a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia, calling Russia's President Putin a smart guy and a cunning person.
He had no intention, in my opinion, of settling this war. I think he wanted the whole thing. When I got elected, we spoke, and I think we're going to have a deal.
Though the administration is emphasizing the goal is to bring both sides to the table and that nothing has been conceded, President Trump says his number one goal is to end the killing. He also says Ukraine's president plans to visit Washington Friday and sign a new rare earth minerals deal with the U.S. Elon Musk telling cabinet members his DOGE cuts are necessary to keep America from going bankrupt. Federal agencies are being told in a memo from the president's budget and personnel chiefs to prepare for large-scale eliminations of positions. Freshman California Congressman Derek Tran, who's also an Army veteran, is proposing a bill that would reinstate any former service member fired without cause as part of government job cuts.
Democrats that sit on the House Appropriations Committee say up to 6,000 veterans have lost their government jobs, which many veterans have been encouraged to seek after their military service is done. Congressman Tran says it isn't right that many who served the country are being, in his words, kicked to the curb. Republicans have a slim House majority. Nearly all of them support President Trump's plans to cut government waste and many jobs along with it.
Fox's Scot. The U.S. Postal Service just announcing new service standards aimed at saving at least $36 billion over 10 years, calling it transportation, mail processing, and real estate cost reductions. A good start, but a mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 188 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Storms probably on the way. Partly cloudy with temperatures in the lower 60s on the circle. Your radar's clear. Tonight slow down to about 37. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Get ready for some rain, wind, and thunderstorms the next couple of days. Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says some of these storms could be severe.
We could see some additional storms tomorrow. Now, it would be a little more active late this evening tonight than it will be tomorrow, but we could see some isolated stuff late tomorrow as well.
Updike says wind gusts could reach 25 miles per hour tomorrow and then get up to 40 by Friday. Indianapolis Rolls-Royce workers may strike over a tiered pay system that rewards some more than others. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
The system pays workers differently based on how long they've been with the company, but the UAW says there's no way to move between the tiers.
So we want the same equal treatment as the guy next to us is getting.
Travis Riddle, a worker at Rolls-Royce, speaking with Wish TV.
I like working here and I enjoy working for Rolls-Royce. I don't want to leave. I do feel appreciated at times.
And the UAW says an overwhelming amount of workers has voted to authorize a strike. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A proposal is being reviewed at the State House that would limit the authority of reserve police officers. Former State Trooper Tamara Watson was at a Southport town hall Tuesday night that was led by Southport Police Chief Tom Vaughn.
There is a way we can change it. It's going to take everyone. That's why I had Chief Vaughn here host this meeting.
Watson says the most concerning part of it is that it prevents officers without certain training from exercising full powers while they're off duty or outside of their jurisdictions. People who live in either Southport or Marion County were at the town hall and said changes need to happen to the bill. It's going to be reviewed by the Senate after passing the House. If you were at all concerned about an asteroid hitting Earth in 2032, Purdue University planetary sciences professor Brandon Johnson says there's no need to worry.
Yeah, so first I want to say the chances of this hitting the Earth are really small, so that's not going to happen.
And second, he says if it was going to hit the Earth, we would have discovered it early enough to either deflect or destroy it. The recent odds of that asteroid you might have been hearing about hitting our planet have dropped to less than a fraction of a percent. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance, and with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You gotta check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. Here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, looking at eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Keystone Avenue to Benford Boulevard. Inbound 65 slows from 21st to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 slow from the south split back to Harding Street. Crash in Hancock County, westbound 70 between State Road 9 and Mount Comfort Road. It's over on the shoulder, not causing any delay at the moment. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mainly cloudy skies for the day today. Some scattered showers may be possible with highs right around 59. The showers come to an end later tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows near 38. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
I'm here to
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Nigel, Jason Hammer is here. Governor Braun coming live in studio. Maybe he'll bring us some beer. I think last time.
How about he brings us some property tax relief? Can we get him to work on that? He's trying.
You know what?
He's working his butt off to try.
I know Governor Braun's going to come in here and we're going to get some stuff done. We're going to talk some serious stuff with property tax. We're what's his administration doing? But I just want to know if he's been in the Oval Office with Donald Trump and Donald Trump has hit the red Diet Coke button in the presence of Braun. And maybe Governor Braun should do the same thing. Maybe he should have something installed at his place. Or his, wherever he sits there at the state house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like a button where you hit it and they automatically bring you a St. Elmo shrimp cocktail or an Indiana tenderloin or, something like that.
Right. But I understand, the committee and the Senate both kind of, they didn't kill it, but they decimated Mike Braun's property tax plan. It's moved through the Senate. It's a turd of a bill. And the question I want to know is, did he see it coming? And I'm sure he did. I'm sure he saw it coming.
And he's going to join us in studio at about 4:35 today, and we'll find out what the latest is. We're kind of at halftime of the Indiana General Assembly right now. Now, keep in mind, it's just halftime. Purdue was leading Indiana at halftime this past Sunday.
That's right.
And then the Hoosiers came back and had a big second half, won that game. So maybe, just maybe, there's still a puncher's chance for guys like us to get some relief here in terms of property tax, but certainly not off to a good start. And we'll get the governor's opinion of that coming up. Speaking of those guys, this is the point of the show that I've missed because I haven't been here the last couple of days. But here's a list of people who did screw you on property tax.
The daily reading of the people that screwed us. Okay.
Travis Holdman, Scott Baldwin, Brian Buchanan, Chris Garton, Mike Gaskell, Tyler Johnson, Ryan Mishler, Rick Niemeyer, Linda Rogers, Kyle Walker. They were the initial committee that gutted this thing. Like the very first thing they did was gut it. So the majority of Hoosiers, those who are under the age of 65 and those who are not disabled veterans, get nothing. Bubkiss. Nada.
I mean, at the very least, I was kind of looking forward to that back to the 2021 rates. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's a fair deal. Like some people feel like there shouldn't even be property tax. And listen, I'm maybe one of them, right? If you've got your house paid off, I kind of feel like you should be done. But this was a fair compromise, and it still wasn't good enough. It was like the first thing that these people gutted. And some of these people on this committee, they've got financial interest in going the other way. They are either consultants with construction companies or they got ties to construction companies that make money from property taxes. So, yeah, it feels like there's a little conflict of interest there. So we're going to have a good conversation with the governor coming up here in just a little bit. Where are we at with this, Nige? Florida Representative Byron Donalds. I like him a great deal. I like him. He's announced that he is going to be running to be the governor of the state of Florida.
I'm here to announce my candidacy to be the next governor of the great state of Florida. We have a wonderful state. I got to Florida when I was 17 years old off of a Greyhound bus with just a trunk full of clothes. And over the rest of my time in Florida, I built a family. I built a career, 17 years in financial services. I joined the Tea Party movement, was in the conservative movement. I was able to serve 4 years in the state legislature, 4 years in Congress. And I think now is the time to now take the mantle and lead our state into the future. We have a great governor. Ron DeSantis has done a tremendous job for our state. But now the job is to keep the best state in the country as the best state in the country. And so that's going to be the mission at hand.
So DeSantis terming out, and it's important for the Republican Party to have another strong leader in place, somebody that can help down ballot Republicans, because DeSantis was great at that. Yeah. Florida used to be a swing state, and now it's pretty comfortable red. And I think DeSantis is a big reason why, not because of like the national conversations, but he would go county to county, talk about school board races and the ridiculous things going on. I hope Byron Donalds is the same way.
What do you think about DeSantis's wife running for governor? Because Donald Trump didn't endorse her. Donald Trump's pick for that gig is the guy that we just heard from, Byron Donalds. And there is a definite rift in Florida. This is something that Jeff Boggs, your fill-in, was talking about the past couple of days. We would mention this kind of just off the air, actually, just kind of just BSing about it. But there is a rift between Mr. DeSantis, Mr. and Mrs. DeSantis, and Donald Trump, and it might start here. It probably started when in a Republican primary.
Right.
It probably started when DeSantis was making smart-ass comments about Donald Trump's legal problems, and I don't know anything about payments off to adult film actresses or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah,
and a lot of people thought DeSantis got into that race way too late.
Yeah, there were some problems there. So I don't know. I love Byron Donalds for all the reasons you just mentioned, for all the things that he just talked about, and there were so many people that I know from Florida that they were very glad that Donald Trump ran for president and primaried and got that nomination because they got to keep DeSantis for another couple of years as their governor in Florida.
Right. They didn't want to lose him.
We don't want to share him. We don't care about. We want to keep him down here.
And listen, just because you're the wife of somebody, does that mean you're going to all of a sudden be as good as that person? Like, I don't know. What does Casey DeSantis know about being the governor? She's been married to one, but is that the same as being the governor?
No, but she has been. And I say this, again, knowing that she's his wife and closest confidant, but she was a top political advisor as well. Again, no. She's his wife.
But how did we feel when Dr. Jill was leading cabinet meetings? Did anybody feel like, it's okay because the good doctor's here?
Yeah, no, maybe a little bit different situation because Mr. Presidential Poopy Pants didn't have all his faculties to begin with.
Some sort of food influencer on TikTok, Nige.
Okay, we can move on to the next story.
The food influencer has this video where she eats a $19 strawberry at some restaurant in Beverly Hills.
A $19 bowl of strawberries?
Oh, not a bowl. One
strawberry.
One strawberry. Okay. $19. She says it's from Japan. And it's the best strawberry she's had in her life.
Why didn't you say so?
Here's Ellie sampling the $19 strawberry.
This is a $19 strawberry from Erewhon. So we're going to eat it. It's from Kyoto in Japan. And apparently it's like the best tasting strawberry in the entire world. So here we go. I don't even know how you open this.
Oh, it looks
it's
good.
Literally sitting on like a little tray. You gotta just eat it like this, right? Wow, that is the best strawberry. That's crazy. For one strawberry, $19 for one strawberry. It's actually the best strawberry I've ever had.
It better be for $19.
I'm watching this thing right now. I mean, it's a giant strawberry. It kind of looks like she's eating it off some sort of ice cream cone type thing. But other than the fact that it's huge and then it costs $19, I don't know. I mean, you can go to Kroger right now. I think there's like 2 for $1, $5.
Right.
You pay a couple extra bucks more for the organic.
$19 strawberry. It better come with a double-jointed nymphomaniac cheerleader to feed it to me. Good Lord. Real quick, if you need a reason to drink tonight, The Price is Right celebrated their 10,000th show.
You're kidding.
It is the longest-running game show in U.S. history. Now, during the commercial break, producer Allison was telling me that you've ran on stage at The Price is Right, right?
Yeah, in 2017, we were out there for a college program, and me and my friends, we got sat in the very front row, and one of my friends got called up, and he won the entire thing, and we got to run on stage and shake Drew Carey's hand, and he won a car and a whole bunch of stuff.
Is that on video anywhere?
I'll try to find some clips on YouTube and share it with you guys, because it's
okay. All right. Which brings us to great moments in Price is Right history. Speaking of Drew Carey, he can't believe that this guy wants to take $1,500 in cash instead of basically having a free chance to go for the car.
You have $1,500 cash. You can keep that or go for another roll. Try to get the 5 cars. With that roll that one.
I'll take the $1,500 cash, Drew.
You don't want to roll that one to try to win the car?
No, I'll take the $1,500.
Are you sure? Sure. But you get 2 more rolls. You get 2 more chances to to turn that $1,500 into a car.
I want the $1,500.
Okay, I just want to let you know that it's a freebie. You can roll this and no penalty. You might get only $500 or $1,000, but you might win a car.
Oh no, $1,500 will be fine.
He's going to take the $1,500, folks. I'm not going to talk him out of it. Man. Oh, Kevin. You're a heartbreaker.
Well, I don't know what the tax implications are, but I don't know. What would you have done?
I'm going for the car, Nige.
All right.
It sounded like the worst case scenario was $500. So I'm thinking, I came all the way out here. I got picked. I got selected. Do I want to just have $1,500? I could hit that in a parlay. I want to go for the car. Let's go. Then I would probably lose. All right, Matt Bear is standing by.
Inbound 65 stop and go traffic 29th to Meridian Penn for a 5-minute delay. Eastbound 70 slows after Harding into the south split. Crash west side Washington Street at Raceway Road. North side eastbound 465 slows at Keystone Avenue past Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio to get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. A couple things here. Again, about 15 minutes from right now, Governor Mike Braun in studio. Also, time is running out. Get those Hammer and Nigel Show St. Patrick's Day t-shirts.
Ooh, yeah.
You've got to order between now and Friday to make sure you're going to get it in time for St. Patrick's Day, okay? Store.hammerandnigel.com. And we need 40 people to click like on the YouTube stream right now. I think the crazy coupon lady's in there chatting it up with people, Crystal. So we need 40 more people to give us a thumbs up. That gets us to 100. Is this anything? Next.
Did you miss the Sullivan Hardware and Garden patio furniture sale last weekend? Well, you didn't miss it all. Due to tremendous response, we've held over the best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture. Hi, Pat Sullivan here. Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Teak, cast aluminum, all-weather wicker, Berlin garden poly furniture, and much more. Many customers ask me, why is our patio furniture different? Well, we specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 17,000 square foot warehouse. And again, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, patio furniture already preseason priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. You can even order your own custom cushions at no extra charge. Come see for yourself once again this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Patio furniture already preseason priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, and in Cicero. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer and Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming, new Comer and Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Pacers Nation, let's continue this homestand strong.
This is Halliburton again, and as he takes it to the hoop, he spins it in off the glass.
Cheer on your blue and gold this Wednesday as they battle the Raptors.
Tied at 132.
Siakam hits the three. 6 1/10. Pacers have the lead.
Pascal Siakam looks to lead the Pacers to victory over his former team in an Eastern Conference showdown with the Raptors. Pacers, Raptors, Wednesday at 7.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Brought to you by Window Nation. Get 50% off all styles of windows. Don't pay anything for 5 years. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
Is this anything? Warner Brothers is asking a town in Oklahoma to tear down its giant leg lamp. It's a big replica of like the one you see in A Christmas Story, right? The leg lamp.
Fragile.
Fragile.
Yeah.
It's
what?
It's even popped up.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's popped up on like a shipping crate, just like the movie. Here's Jim of the foundation in this Oklahoma community talking about how it's not going down without a fight.
The leg lamp has worked, okay? We're not trying to infringe upon anything. The ones that hate this thing, they didn't want to understand. They were just like, oh, I told you we're going to get sued, told you we're going to get sued. And the reality is there has been no lawsuit. But the biggest thing is this isn't an amusement park. It didn't cost you $20 to come in and see the world's largest leg lamp. The only thing we're selling is officially licensed merchandise. So there is no infringement. It's a piece of art that is not owned by the city. It's owned by the Chickasha Community Foundation, and the land that it's on is owned by University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma.
World's largest leg lamp statue in Oklahoma.
I don't. Why would a small town in Oklahoma have a giant leg lamp from a movie that took place in Indiana, where it was filmed, and it was filmed in Ohio and Canada? Like, I don't get this. I don't understand what's going on here. But I tell you what, look, if I'm the governor of Oklahoma, this is my number one priority. This is my SB1, so to speak, is keeping that leg lamp. Screw Warner Brothers. If they want to keep the leg lamp there, that's fine. I just don't understand why it's there at all.
Now, you know how I am. I am Clark Griswold when it comes to touristy stuff. Whenever I drive back from Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and we're going through that portion of Kentucky, of course, I've got to stop at Corbin. The Sanders Cafe, the first ever KFC there. I've got to stop there. So if I'm driving through Oklahoma and I got a chance to see the world's largest leg lamp, I'm going to stop. I think you have to keep it up.
I understand. Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
Is this anything? Nearly $2 million worth of Nike footwear was stolen from freight trains in California and Arizona within the last year. $2 million. Here is Scot Jones, the Smart TD Transit Union Safety and Legs Director, talking about how the thieves did it.
They wait till the train gets out into a more desolate, remote area where you have fewer law enforcement. It's well planned, well orchestrated. How are they doing this? Is there somebody on the inside? I mean, that's a good question. I'd like to think not, but we don't know that.
Be. I find it interesting that it's been hundreds of years, but law enforcement still really just can't figure out the train heist.
That's a good point, right?
I do understand. He said, like, this is out in the middle of nowhere. And my old man worked for the railroad for 30 years. My grandpa worked for the railroad for decades, retired from the railroad, CSX. It has a pension from the railroad, and they do a wonderful job. But it's a legitimate way to transport goods to and from. But $2 million worth of Nike shoes? That's what was stolen? What's that worth on the black market? Who is the fence? Who is using it? Who is stepping up and saying, all right, you got $2 million worth there. I'll give you $100,000.
True.
And they're going to go crazy on eBay. I don't understand how all that works, but I do. The train heist was big in like the 1800s, early 1900s.
Right. Dudes wearing bandanas over their face and a cowboy hat.
Like, I've watched Little House on the Prairie the full season 3 times in a row with my kids. And they're just running alongside the train on the horse and firing their guns. Is that the way it still works? I doubt it.
I don't know. You know who I think we should ask? The governor of Indiana, Mike Braun. He's in studio next.
If you're one of those guys that likes to spend time in his garage as well as the basement, but you got kind of like a dirty, old, cracked, uneven, unmaintained garage floor, same with the basement floor, you got to go with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You want that brand new coating on that floor. They don't use epoxy, by the way. I'm not talking about an epoxy coating. That's the old standard. Galaxy Concrete Coatings uses polyurea, the new premium standard for coatings. They did a tremendous job on my garage floor. It's beautiful. It's so easy to clean and 4 times as strong. They're working on Hammer's house. They're coming down to my basement in a couple of weeks. Check out their website, see pictures, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them 751-9070.
You love spring and Indies, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's going to be windy, cloudy and 62 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar's clear. Tonight's low down to about 37. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Expect winds to gust up to 40 miles an hour by the time you get to Friday, with breezy conditions sticking around the next couple of days.
So if you've got any, decorations, if you're starting to put out any spring decorations, or if you've got trash cans or things like that, just make sure you have them tied down so those they don't blow away.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says expect thunderstorms Thursday. President Donald Trump says he would like to strengthen the country's relationship with China while he was holding his first cabinet meeting today.
We're going to have a good relationship with China, but they won't be able to take advantage of us. What they did to Biden was, he didn't know what was happening. He didn't know what he was doing. The administration didn't know what they were doing.
Trump said earlier this month he wants China to invest in the U.S. and signed an executive order imposing a 10% tariff on imports from the country. And a bill being discussed at the State House would restrict officers without specific training from exercising full powers while off duty or outside their jurisdictions.
But many police agencies across Indiana say they're not a fan of that. I'm John Herrick, like Southport Police Chief Tom Vaughn, who said at a town hall Tuesday night that his department took more than 200 reports outside the Southport jurisdiction last year and made more than 100 arrests.
So if you add all those numbers up, that's runs IMPD would have to take, right, if we can't leave. Well, if they're already struggling to take the runs they have now, how are they going to do that?
The bill was approved by the House, and it gets reviewed by the Senate next. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Indianapolis Rolls-Royce workers may strike over a pay system that locks them into different wages and benefits based on seniority. The UAW says there's no way to move up.
We want the same equal treatment as the guy next to us is getting.
Rolls-Royce worker Travis Riddle talking to Wish TV. The UAW says workers voted to approve a strike. And at the closing bell today, the Dow dropped by 188 points to close at 43,433. The Nasdaq was up by 48 to 19,075. The S&P 500 also up by about a point to 5,956. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
After hosting family and friends for the holidays, you may have noticed something about your home you hadn't seen before. Gaps between the walls and floors, cracks in the foundation, or uneven sagging floors. It's easy to overlook these issues when you're busy preparing for guests, but now is the time to address them before they worsen. These could be signs of foundation problems that need immediate attention. Ignoring these issues now could lead to irreversible damage, ultimately lowering your home's value. Indiana Foundation Service knows how important it is to preserve the value of your home. Their experts are here to help. With a free inspection from IndianaFoundation.com, they'll identify the source of the problem and give you a no-obligation quote for repairs. Don't wait. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection and protect your home's value. Indiana Foundation Service, your trusted local foundation experts.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
With traffic at 4:33, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, looking at eastbound 465 on the north side. Stop and go traffic, Keystone Avenue over to I-69. Southbound 65 slows 29th to Meridian Penn for a 4-minute delay. Eastbound 70 on a 6-minute delay from Harding Street to the south split. Crash west side, West Washington Street at Raceway Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window this month at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 for patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A few showers possible in the early tonight with lows falling into the upper 30s under mostly cloudy skies. Thursday, cooler and breezy with the potential for some spotty showers during the daytime hours. Highs will be in the low 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also joining us live in studio, Governor Mike Braun. Welcome, Mr. Braun. How are you?
Very good, and good to be back.
Any number of places we could start. My mind goes to the either the governor's mansion or your office. Have you installed a red Diet Coke button similar to what Donald Trump has done in the Oval Office yet? Whenever you want a soda or a coffee, you press a button and they bring it to you. Is that installed yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said yet.
I'm gonna have to run that through the budget committee.
Okay. Have you been in the Oval Office as a senator?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
And I was there just this past weekend with an interesting. It was a National Governors Association.
So you were there at that luncheon when?
Oh yeah.
When Trump went after the governor of Maine.
I was like 30 feet away from Trump and the governor, and first of all, he knew she was there, and he looks the other direction and says, "Is a senator from Maine here?" And she stands up like a school kid. Yes, I'm here. On the other end. And of course, that's when he, started to tear into her about if she's going to change her point of view
about boys.
And she said, "I'm going to pay
sports.
attention to the state and federal law."
You were there for that.
Yeah,
that was
incredible. And then it was a back and forth, and she ended it with "see in court." Oh my goodness!
I said when she said that, I said that is the least intimidating thing you can say to Donald Trump. I'll see you in court. Please.
And that is one of those precious moments. You were just glad you were there, and it gets a little better because that next day we were all there for a red carpet type dinner.
Yes.
So you're walking into the place, and it reminded me of what it would have been back when the founders were there. The violins, the military choir was there.
Right.
And then the dinner itself was just really cool. And, of course, in the middle of it, Trump gets up, and this was all off the cuff. For any of you that want to stick around, there's going to be a tour of the White House. Of course, that public level that we were on, and I've done that a time or two, we're going upstairs, and I'm going to be the tour guide.
Oh, you got to take that.
Yeah.
You got to take
Anybody
that.
that wants to hang around. So the whole dinner party then does that. And, I mean, you're in the Lincoln bedroom and all those places.
Did he show you the Clinton Lewinsky area? Because we've had that story. I think it was the New York
I was waiting for that to be pointed out, but he had discretion.
Okay.
He did not do it.
Wow, the one time.
The one time.
But it was a fun evening.
Governor Mike Braun is here. So halftime right now of the Indiana General Assembly. There have been some good news. But I think when it comes to the big story, it's SB 1, which layman's terms is the property tax situation in the state of Indiana. It's SB 1 for a reason. This was the signature issue for you, your administration, and I think for voters in the state of Indiana. We were talking off air. We do a little bit every time I'm here at the top of the 4 o'clock hour where I rattle off names of people who have no intentions of helping, people like Nigel and myself here. What is your take on what you've seen so far with the property tax situation?
So we won the battle in this game by it being SB 1. And when they go through it, they preserve the transparency part of it. Don't do referenda in off-year elections. That's important. They're interested in capping future increases. That's important. The part where they did the minimum amount and then accented that they're helping young entry-level homeowners and elderly retired. Well, we'd all be for that.
Sure.
And they're going to see some real relief, but not to where it's going to do more than taking it back to where there wouldn't be a cut, and they'd be most protected coming out of it. So there are a lot of taxpayers in the middle, and here's where it'll all be kind of worked out. I made it clear, honest increase in costs, inflation that Biden gave us, that was around 20-25%. Reasonable growth rate, so you can grow your local governments and school boards. Just don't, remember, the economy knocks it out of the park by growing 3% a year. Very seldom does it get there. So this is going to come down to when we have to point out how much their cash balances are, meaning that they had some windfall throughout that whole opaque process, and what shiny objects have you already bought. And most of the bills went up more than 20 to 30%. Many went up 50% to doubled. So those were school districts and local governments that captured a windfall. And we'll get to a point where we start really fleshing that out.
Right.
And we're going to win that argument. If not, it'll be clear to the taxpayers that they were not giving real relief, and that's the second half of the ball game.
What's frustrating to me, again, I'm somebody that pays his taxes, comes to work every day, takes care of my family. Like a lot of our listeners, I don't fall into any of these special categories. I'm not over the age of 65. I've never been wounded in the military. And we rushed out to the polls thinking we were going to get some sort of relief. And we're not asking for a free pass here. Like just going back to 2021, which I thought was a pretty fair compromise. But the very first thing this committee did was strip it down. And when you try to get some sort of answers from people like Senator Baldwin and some of these other folks, you can't find them anywhere. Has that been frustrating for you?
Well, a little bit, but not unexpected, because most of these folks that are fighting hard are Republicans that are running most of the local governments throughout the state. But they've got a homeowner's hat too, but they also sit on a local council, commissioners, mayor, or might be on the school board. And then they start to think in a way to where they're defending the entity. And all I'm saying is, be honest, be fair. If you kept your tax rates down low to apply to that high assessed value, you're not going to feel much pain anyway. Some people would say, well, we didn't raise the tax rate. Well, that means you had a windfall. And every district, every local government jurisdiction is a little different. We'll end up with something that's better, I think, than what we've got. And we won 2 out of the 3. We made it transparent. We've capped it in a way that'll be reasonable going forward. Even with their version, we might try to tweak that. We got to find more real relief for a broader spectrum of taxpayers, and I'm going to be out there making the case.
But so you expected this, they gutted it in committee, got it through the Senate. You expected them to take a Rambo-style knife to this thing and gut it. Who first let you know that said, Governor, this is not looking exactly like what we initially put forward?
Well, we knew the setting it back, the cut was going to be the big issue. And when those numbers got out there, remember, they're talking about inflated revenue levels that are up to roughly about $11 billion across the board for local governments and schools. And you go back to where it was pre-COVID, there's a pretty big difference. They don't want to give up where they're at. They're willing to restrict it going forward. So we accomplished that, but we're going to work on real relief. That's the second half of the battle.
Governor Mike Braun joining us in studio. What do you think is the biggest problem right now you see when it comes to not just this bill, but other bills? In regards to SB 1, though, you've got a few folks on this committee that seems like they have financial interests with construction companies who make money off property taxes. They're on the tax committee. You've also got situations where it feels like some of these Republicans are believing the fear that's being put out by whether it's school boards or local towns. Like, I find it hard to believe that Carmel would not have the money to afford, security and first responders. But that's just an example. What's the biggest problem that you're seeing?
So we've got 92 counties, and every one is a different version. Hamilton County is a rare county. They're going to figure it out one way or the other. They got a broad tax base. They'd be ones that like to spend through their local school districts and governments, and maybe most of them are okay with it, probably not some on each end again. Then you've got some rural counties that have been losing population. Their tax bases haven't been expanding, like Boone County. It's been in the catbird seat. My county does well, but there are at least 70 to 75 counties that are struggling because that isn't going up. And that's where the tax bills have really gone up in a way that we need to be cognizant of. And those are the folks I'm going to be looking to help. And I think we'll still get there to where
Come back
we
for one
are
more
okay.
segment with us,
Sure.
Governor?
Yeah.
Governor Mike Braun with us here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. More when we come back. Sit tight.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Life-changing discovery should never be left to chance. IU Indianapolis is Indiana's premier urban research university, home to 50 research centers and institutes, which means our students don't just study groundbreaking research, they make their very own breakthroughs from day one. We're here to make the future happen. Bring on tomorrow. IU Indianapolis. Discover what's next at go.iu.edu/breakthrough.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Thank you to our listeners. Red, White, and Bowl, presented by Jack Daniels, is sold out. But stop by Woodland Bowl this Friday, 3 to 7, to see Hammer and Nigel broadcast live.
More info online at WIBC.com.
Real quick, I was told we have 2 more tickets left to the bowling event that just opened up. So if you want to go to the Red, White, and Bowl, presented by Jack Daniels with us this Friday, 2 tickets just became available. First come, first serve. Go to the events page of WIBC.com. More with the governor in just a moment. Matt Baer, how are the roads?
Northbound 65 crash at 21st Street, blocking the left lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to I-70 North. A split a 10-minute delay. Inbound 65, stop and go from 29th to Meridian Penn for a 5-minute delay. Eastbound 78 minutes added from Belmont to the South Split. Northbound 465 on the northwest side, stop and go 86th Street up to 865. And eastbound 465 slows from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window this month at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. We've got Governor Mike Braun in studio with us. Now, in just a moment, I've been given a proposal from Rob Kendall that warrants your attention.
Oh, boy.
Before we get to that, though, last thing on this whole property tax conversation. Have you had a chance to meet with any of these people, and what were those conversations like, especially some of the ones that voted to gut it down?
So the irony of it is, with nearly every one of them, prior to when that was going to go into the committee hearing and take the vote. So they know the case from my point of view. They know where maybe leadership was wanting to go, and they've had an earful from all the folks that might have a vested interest, whether it's just to protect their domain. And like anything, even if you're a conservative, I've seen them left and right coming out to D.C. with their big old Stetson there wanting more money dumped into it.
Right.
I'd say get a new business partner. The federal government's going broke. They'd agree with me. Then it wouldn't take them more than 30 seconds to say, well, can you bump my budget for next year 5 to 10%? That is just part of it, and it happens across government. Here, I've been on record, local government and school districts have to be healthy. But there's a point where they got to get efficiencies worked into it. And then I'll point out, did you take advantage of the windfall because you could? And that's where we'll end up, and that's how we'll get it figured out.
And how can people like us and our listeners help the process out here? Again, it's just halftime of the General Assembly, but what can we do?
I think you just keep getting it out there that we probably got 2 of the 3 taken care of. But if we want to see real relief across a bunch of property tax bills, we got to do better. And that's what we're going to work on. Keep it out there. We're not there yet on the cut part. And we don't want to cut it into the muscle or the bone. We just want to cut it into a surplus that some have accumulated through that opaque system of applying a tax rate to an assessed value.
So is it working or not? If I have a few beers, a couple shots, call these people and say, I'm going to primary you. I'm going to find somebody to primary you. Is that effective, Governor?
Well, I mean, if they're not listening to their voters are going to be maybe asking those questions.
I think the more legitimate question is, do calls and votes and emails work when
they do.
Contacting your local representatives?
They do. And here, we are making a reasonable case because I'm not, that first approach on where we were is going to be subject to the reason of prove where your costs went up. We'll be reasonable on covering them,
right,
and a reasonable growth rate. But if you accumulated above and beyond covering inflation and a reasonable growth rate, that's where you need to look at every jurisdiction getting your tax bills down to where that would then result in somewhat of a cut, but it is a cut into a surplus, not into something that would actually be taking it away.
The prove it part I love. I loved it when you said it the first time.
Yeah.
I love it even more right now.
Yep.
All right, last thing here. So earlier today, our colleague Rob Kendall from the Midday Show,
Reasonable
Kendall and Casey, reasonable man. He used air quotes for those who couldn't see it. Joking. He wants to do Indiana Doge, and he gave me this proposal written in Sharpie here, Governor.
A lot of detail there.
His target saving is $2.3 billion for the state of Indiana, with the floor saving being $1 billion.
Okay.
He tells me he needs a staff
Over
of 10.
what period of time?
I believe he said he could find this probably in a year.
Okay.
In a year. With a 10-person staff, all the money saved must be returned to the taxpayers. The Doge staff agrees not to be paid until $1 billion is found. No overrides or veto cuts. Rob says he could find $1 billion in his sleep for the low price of $2.5 million, which he would not get paid until he found the money. Is this ridiculous?
Well, I think we'd have to agree to about 3 things.
Okay.
What commission he wants. He'd probably have to quit his day job.
Okay.
And I would really probably require some anger management training.
I don't think you're getting many of those off the checklist there, Governor. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I like some of those things that you just listed off there, but you might as well hand that to the governor so he can wad it up and throw it away in the trash.
He even put a shiny star on it here, Nigel.
Hey, don't wad it up. I want to take that and post it somewhere in my office.
Okay? All right.
There it is.
I like constituents that actually have somewhat of a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I stand corrected.
There it is. Governor, thank you so much for taking the time joining us.
My pleasure.
And hopefully, after the General Assembly is over, we will touch base again and see where we're at.
Well, let's do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Governor Mike Braun on the Hammer and Nigel Show. We're coming right back.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, bike shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo.
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a couple of people from Fort Wayne arrested. You'll want to keep an eye on the radar the next couple of days. And Sasha Nixon has a WIBC Spotlight about the Oscars. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
He still has the president's blessing. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump defending Elon Musk's government efficiency cuts, which keep prompting lawsuits and criticism from Democrats in Congress.
I got elected based on taxes and based on many things, the border, but also based on balancing budgets and getting our country back into shape, and this is a big part of it.
This during the first cabinet meeting today. Musk telling cabinet members he believes $1 trillion in federal spending can be saved, but that it requires saving $4 billion a day, every day, through the end of September.
Musk says his Doge team must work fast and concedes mistakes have been made.
One of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately.
The Trump administration is also preparing to drastically reduce the federal workforce, directing agency chiefs to develop reorganization plans by the middle of next month.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. During that cabinet meeting, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. telling reporters that measles outbreaks aren't unusual in the U.S. and that officials are monitoring an outbreak in Texas where one child has died.
Now, this confirmed measles death is the first in the U.S. in a decade, according to the Texas Health Department. The school-aged child who was not vaccinated was hospitalized in Lubbock last week and tested positive for measles. This latest outbreak centered around West Texas is growing, with at least 124 cases identified since late January. The spread has jumped to neighboring New Mexico, and separately, Georgia announced 2 additional cases today. Since the 20th, measles cases have been reported in Alaska, California, New Jersey, New York, and Rhode Island.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins has a plan to help lower egg prices.
The avian flu has been catastrophic for our poultry, our egg farmers.
So part of the plan is to boost supply by importing more eggs. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why they were arrested. Cloudy and 62 degrees downtown. Radar mostly clear, other than some rain well north of 465. Low of 37 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Human trafficking of a child is one of the charges against 2 women from Fort Wayne. John Herrick reports.
Police said Wednesday morning that over the course of the last several months, they found that Letitia Granados and Harley Cooley were sex trafficking a 17-year-old girl, taking pornographic pictures of her and posting them online, along with posting similar pictures and videos of themselves. Police think other victims were involved, too. They say they've tied sex trafficking incidents to Granados and Cooley in both Allen and Marion counties. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Get ready for rain, wind, and thunderstorms coming your way the next couple of days. Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says some of the storms could be severe.
We could see some additional storms tomorrow. Now, it would be a little more active late this evening tonight than it will be tomorrow, but we could see some isolated stuff late tomorrow as well.
Wind gusts are likely to reach 25 miles an hour tomorrow and could get up to 40 by Friday. And if you plan to watch the Oscars this weekend, you may already have a favorite film you'd like to see win Best Picture. Sasha Nixon has more on some of this year's nominees.
And now, a WIBC News Spotlight.
Of 10 nominees this year, quite a few are unique in the Best Picture category, and some have already garnered controversy.
Amelia Perez debuted at the Cannes Film Festival. It was the closing night film with us at the Heartland International Film Festival. It has 13 nominations, which is the most this year, but there has been some turmoil with the lead actress, Carla Sofia Garzon, with some old tweets, which has kind of bumped the chances for the film down in a handful of categories.
Greg Sorvig, artistic director with Heartland Film in Indianapolis, says a variety of genre-specific films are in the running this year, instead of more traditional award season titles. One that has become popular since its release is The Substance.
It's a satirical horror film about an aging former model and actress played by Demi Moore who was in Hollywood and going through the grind and is trying to be more youthful. So she comes upon this green substance that essentially separates her body, and she has a younger version of herself that is out in the world. Only one person can be up and cognizant and be walking around doing their thing.
And if you were feeling overwhelmed by how many nominees are on the table this year,
Don't feel pressured to watch everything that's been nominated for an Oscar ahead of time. It is one of those rare years where not all of the frontrunners are going to win potentially. Maybe just be patient, take the time, see who wins, and then see for yourself.
you can watch the 97th Academy Awards ceremony this coming Sunday on ABC or Hulu. The show starts at 7 p.m. This has been a WIBC News Spotlight. I'm Sasha Nixon.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:05.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call my agent, Mark Dietel. Maybe you want a guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel's the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Greg and Franklin said this: my tenant moved out of my investment property, and I was ready to sell. I heard about Mark on the radio, and everything they say is true. In 15 days on the market, I had a cash offer I wanted on the property. Selling with Mark Dietel was fast, easy, and profitable. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
The traffic at 5:06. Here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, northbound 65 stop and go traffic from the north split up to 21st Street because of a crash. It just cleared. Traffic in that northbound side should be gone here before too long. Now, inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. 6-minute delay. Northbound 65-70 loaded up from the south split up to the north, and eastbound 70 drags into the south split from Belmont. Inbound 69 slow before 96 to 465. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Westfield Boulevard past Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A few showers possible in the early tonight, with lows falling into the upper 30s under mostly cloudy skies. Thursday, cooler and breezy with the potential for some spotty showers during the daytime hours. Highs will be in the low 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Donald Trump hosting his very first cabinet meeting today. Yay, big excitement. A lot of characters there. A lot of caricatures. I feel like a lot of these guys that are part of Trump's cabinet are WWE figures. It's Tulsi. It's Hegseth. It's RFK Jr.
By God, that's Elon Musk's music. Like
And
Space
Elon
Odyssey
Musk-
comes on.
Elon Musk was there as well.
Yeah, and listen, you can act like this cabinet meeting isn't really that big of a deal, but then you got to think Joe Biden didn't do hardly any of these.
And he didn't have one after he was inaugurated until the middle of, I think, close to spring or summer.
And
a few,
I get it. He's got beaches to go pass out on.
of course.
I understand. But at one point, the good doctor, Dr. Jill, was leading these cabinet meetings. How does it make you feel as an American? Dr. Jill, whose number one concern was making sure that there was a song created for the First Lady when she walks into a room, is now advising the military what to do. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, at least somebody was doing something.
That's true. A rare Biden that was coherent.
My favorite part you just mentioned Joe Biden sleeping on a beach, and Donald Trump was asked about that before the election. He's like, who takes anybody seriously? How does a sitting president, get caught sleeping on a beach? That just looks awful.
And a big, diaper-looking swimsuit, too.
Yeah, I know.
So today was the first cabinet meeting. Elon Musk was kind of the star, I guess, of if you want to call it that, of this meeting. Trump was the ringleader, right? But Elon Musk, a lot of people have questions about Doge and, all the things that are associated with that. Take a listen to Elon Musk talking a little bit about corruption, spending, and all things government efficiency.
Doge is a support function for the president and for the agencies and departments to help achieve those savings and to effectively find 15% in reduction in fraud and waste. And we bring the receipts. So people say, well, is this real? Just go to doge.gov. We line item by line item, we specify each item. So, and I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September.
Wow.
But we can do it, and we will do it.
That's a big number, and we'll talk about that number in a second. He mentioned $4 billion, but I'm just also thinking, Doge goes through all these different bureaucracies, all these different federal agencies, and what if he mentioned something about making a mistake? What if they say, all right, we're going to cut this, but then they revisit it in a month or two and say, hey, we probably need to bring some of this back. I bet there's going to be a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have the Bobs in to consult to see where you can make cuts. When I say that's an Office Space reference.
Sure.
Which is, lame of me to have to, if you don't know what that reference is, then sorry. But it's basically Elon is the Bobs in Office Space.
Right. And he mentioned, if there's a mistake and we find out it's a mistake, we'll fix it. The funding for Ebola and the, vaccines it requires to fix Ebola somehow got cut. It was brought to his attention, and they fixed it before anything happened. Nobody is perfect here, but if you go to that website, doge.gov, doge.gov, they lay everything out here from the savings to contract value.
I'm looking at it right now. It's an X-style scrolling version of things that they've cut or they're looking at.
Right. And they also put in there the spending that the department has had. So you can't accuse them of, well, you've spent money on this and that. It's all right there. It's all about transparency. So check it out for yourself, doge.gov. Another key figure in this cabinet meeting was the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Now, he was sitting right next to Donald Trump today, right? So when they started opening up for questions, which I thought was great, big press pool in this room, was able to ask questions to everybody on Donald Trump's cabinet. The question came up about the botched Afghan withdrawal and if anybody has been held accountable because of that.
Talking about Afghanistan and the botched withdrawal, have all the generals or command staff that were involved with the withdrawal been fired or relieved of duty?
Well, that's a great idea. I'm not going to tell this man what to do, but I will say that if I had his place, I'd fire every single one of them, Pete. That's a very good question.
Well, it's a question we've thought a lot about. We're doing a complete review of every single aspect of what happened with the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan and plan to have full accountability. It's one of the first things we announced at the Defense Department for that reason, sir. Certainly, General Raisin Kane, who's on his way in, was not a part of that. Instead, was a part of leading the effort against ISIS by untying the hands of warfighters and finishing the job properly and then bringing our troops home. So we're taking a very different view, obviously, than the previous administration, and there will be full accountability.
I don't see big promotions in that group. And I think they're going to be largely gone. I know the man on my left. I think they're going to be largely gone.
Boy, Trump looking at Hegseth and saying, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do. That sounds like a great idea, is the equivalent of Trump looking at Chris Christie and saying, hey, you can order whatever you want on this menu, but you're getting the meatloaf.
Yes, sir. Which is a thing that actually happened.
Everything's great on this menu. This is a wonderful menu, but you're getting the meatloaf.
Tubby, you're having the meatloaf. You're going to love it.
You got to firing the generals. I'm not going to tell Pete Hegseth what to do, but sounds like a good idea.
Speaking of firings, the head of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, says that over 100 intel officials connected to this NSA sex chat room scandal where all these pervs were having like sexting sessions on national databases here will have their security clearances immediately revoked, and many of them face termination.
What we're going to do has already been done. There are over 100 people from across the intelligence community that contributed to and participated in this, what is really just an egregious violation of trust. What to speak of like basic rules and standards around professionalism. I put out a directive today that they all will be terminated and their security clearances will be revoked. But the thing here, Jesse, is like we got to take a step back because this is just barely scratching the surface. When you see what these people were saying, and thanks to Chris Rufo for putting it all out online, they were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really horrific behavior. And they were brazen in doing this because when was the last time anyone was really held accountable? Certainly not over the last 4 years.
What the hell was going on in the Biden administration where all these freaks and weirdos feel like they can talk about all their fetishes on government databases?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like this is Snapchat. This is the National Security Agency chat tool platform that they were having gross, sexually graphic discussions on. And that at any business, private or federally funded, if somebody got wind of that, you'd be fired.
Right.
This was a professional platform they used to communicate within the agency, and they're talking about, the orgies. Am I allowed to say that? Just things like that.
And it wasn't like it was
Sex
5 or
stuff.
10.
No.
Hundreds. What in the blue hell was going on the last 4 years where over 100 people feel comfortable talking super dirty on an NSA chat room? That is wild to me.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you the last 5 years, it's amazing our country is still standing after some of the unqualified lunatics. And that's what they are, just lunatics that had key roles in our security, in our safety, in the policies of this nation. Unbelievable. Okay, a man that would never post those dirty things on an NSA chat board is Matt Baer. Matt, how are you?
All right, Hammer, you got that right. Northbound 6570, stop-and-go traffic, Michigan Street through the North Split, and then up to 21st Street because of an earlier crash. It's gone. It's cleared. Inbound 65, stop-and-go from MLK to Meridian, had a 6-minute delay. Eastbound 465, running on a 9-minute delay from Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. Looking at eastbound 70, stop-and-go traffic, Belmont into the South Split, 9 additional minutes there. Traffic sponsored by The Tile Shop. Pros get more at The Tile Shop. More selection like new wood and vinyl flooring options for every budget. More perks and more service like free curbside pickup. Start getting more at The Tile Shop. Visit your local showroom today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, I don't know if they're still available, but as of about an hour ago, 2 last-minute tickets to our big bowling event, fundraiser for veterans, Red, White, and Bold, presented by Jack Daniels this Friday, became available. So go back and check the events page, WIBC.com, see if those tickets are still there. If you were somebody that wanted to get in but couldn't because the event sold out, 2 became available about an hour ago. Not sure if they're still there, but give it a shot. WIBC.com, click on events. Right now, we are looking at partly cloudy skies, 62 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Are you okay with this? Next.
Hey, Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Valentine's Day is behind us, and Groundhog's Day and President's Day are in the rear view, but there's still time to take advantage of Window Nation's amazing offer. Save 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years, only at Window Nation now through the end of February to save big on some of the best windows you could buy.
To get windows that will protect your home and family for decades, get a quote on the windows that are going to stop the drafts, stop the leaks, and save you money on your utility bills every month. Save 60%, 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends February 28th. Schedule that free in-home consultation by calling Window Nation at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joiner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joiner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joiner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit joinerhomes.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Scott Weiland's son, Noah. You know who Scott Weiland is, right? Lead singer, former.
I am smelling like a rose that somebody gave me on a birthday deathbed.
Well, Scott Weiland's son. Scott Weiland passed away of a drug overdose several years ago. His son, Noah, did an acoustic cover of another huge Stone Temple Pilots hit, Sex Type Thing. I am, I said I want to get next to you. I said I'm going to get close to you.
Sing along with Nige today.
But this is his son, Noah. He made a video of an acoustic cover of that song. And it's based on a dream that he had seeing his dad again, which is kind of touching. It's a very disturbing video, though, because he uses a Chucky doll as representation for his dad in this video. Here's part of the song, and then I'll explain it. Here.
I said I want to get next to you. I said I wanna get close to you. You wouldn't want me after her hurt you too, hurt you too.
Pretty good acoustic.
Yeah, I like the acoustic. Normally I don't like acoustic version of songs, but this one's pretty...
It's such a good song, though. I like the song.
Right.
Oh, I ain't buying into
your apathy.
I'm gonna learn you my philosophy.
Okay, so are you okay with this acoustic cover? And then if you watch the YouTube video, it has Scott Weiland's son and then Chucky, a Chucky doll representing the late Scott Weiland, his dad.
Yeah, I'm all right with all of this. I mean, who am I to say what the son does for the dad is inappropriate, right? It's not like he was up there having his way with some sort of doll or something. No, if the dream that he had somehow involved his dad or maybe a Chucky doll, I don't know. The song was good. I like it better. Stone Temple Pilots, don't get me wrong. The acoustic wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It was actually pretty good. But I like that song Rockin' more than acoustic. But the video,
I do too, yeah.
The video I don't care about.
It's a very heavy jam of a song. We started off by singing Dead and Bloated, Sex Type Things, the second song on that album Core, which came out in 92.
Unpopular opinion, yeah. I know you're probably going to give me crap. I wasn't a huge alternative rock guy in the 90s, but I always liked STP better than like Nirvana and Pearl Jam. I'd put STP songs that I like better over those two.
I don't agree. I will agree with you over Nirvana. I like STP better than Nirvana. I mean, Core, back in 92, Sex Type Thing, Wicked Garden, Creep, Plush. Are you kidding me? And of
my
course,
youngest is really into Nirvana because he's rediscovered
that. You could go off a list of Nirvana songs that were off Nevermind, too. I don't know about Pearl Jam, though. Pearl Jam 10 and Stone Temple Pilots Core. Oh, boy, that's a rough one. I would probably, on an island, probably Pearl Jam 10.
Okay, this is how we're going to solve this. Nige, you do a pretty good impression of Scott Weiland. I like to think that I do Eddie Vedder pretty well. Allison, you're going to decide which band is better based off the impressions we're about to do, okay? So, Nige, give me a little Scott Weiland from STP.
I know you want what's on my mind. I know you want what's on my mind. I know it eats you up inside. I know you know, you know.
Okay, all right.
From Sex Type Thing.
Sure. And now here is Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. Fearless, labba-dabba, hit it with a hit it with a hit. Whoa, hee haw.
Did I hear a hee-haw in the...
So, Hammer sounded more like a donkey, and then Nigel sounded like foghorn leghorns.
I say, I want to get next to you.
So
I say, boy, I want to get next to you, boy.
Oh, my God.
I'll give it to Nigel. He was really passionate about it.
I'll take it. Are you okay with this? A Florida man saw an alligator with a football in its mouth, and he had a crazy plan to go get it out of the gator's mouth.
Of course he did.
His jaws. Here is Rick. Dude's name's Rick, explaining what he wanted to do.
Well, I saw on our local Facebook page here for Ave Maria that someone had made a post about the alligator with the football stuck in his mouth. So I came over here. I thought perhaps I might have a little plan. If I could get close enough to it, I might be able to pop the football with a knife, deflate it, so the gator could then just spit it out and move on. But I tried to get close to him, and he just wouldn't let me anywhere close to him. So I told the wife about the plan, and she hated it.
Are you okay with this man's plan to get the football out of the gator's mouth?
Where's he from?
Florida.
Yep, 100%. 100% all in. This is Florida man doing Florida man things. Imagine how many wives in the Sunshine State have had to look at their husbands and go, please don't do that. for any number of reasons, whether it's running naked down the street, making crystal meth and fighting a cop, or going against an alligator who's got a football in his mouth. There's somebody's wife, somebody's girlfriend who's had to go, honey, please just don't do that. Don't.
Bad idea.
Bad idea. All right, coming up here in just a minute, Tony Kennett from the Daily Signal and the Tony Kennett cast will join us. But before we do that, could we please have the late, great Scott Weiland throw it to Harrison Silcox in the newsroom?
I am a man that's gonna throw it to the news.
Yeah!
I am a man.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
A couple of arrests made in Fort Wayne. Mostly cloudy skies above the circle with temperatures in the lower 60s. Some rain on the radar, but it's pretty far north of Indy. Low temps to the 30s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 529. Child exploitation and human trafficking is what 2 women at Fort Wayne are accused of doing. John Herrick reports.
Police have identified those women as 21-year-old Letitia Granados and 20-year-old Harley Cooley. They believe they both picked up a 17-year-old girl, threw her phone out a window, gave her a new phone, and then took her to a house in Fort Wayne where they educated her about sex trafficking. Police believe both women posted photos of the girl online and had other victims going back several months. Investigators think these incidents happened in both Marion and Allen counties. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Equal pay for equal work is what Rolls-Royce workers in Indianapolis want as their contract runs out. The deal covers 800-plus engine builders, and they've already voted to strike if needed.
You think about that. If we stand alone, we're easily defeated. But when we stand together as a united working class, as a united membership, we're unstoppable.
Sean Fain with the UAW says the union will announce on Facebook Live tonight around 10 if they're going to strike or not. The Department of Government Efficiencies apparently made some mistakes. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Billionaire Elon Musk, who is leading the president's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, says he believes $1 trillion can be saved in federal spending.
It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September.
Musk says his DOGE team must work fast and concedes mistakes have been made.
One of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately.
The Trump administration is also preparing to drastically reduce the federal workforce, directing agency chiefs to develop reorganization plans by the middle of next month. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Get ready for rain, wind, and thunderstorms coming your way the next couple of days, according to Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service. He says some of the storms could be severe.
We could see some additional storms tomorrow. Now, it would be a little more active late this evening tonight than it will be tomorrow, but we could see some isolated stuff late tomorrow as well.
Updike says wind gusts could reach 25 miles an hour Thursday and then even get into the 40s by the time you get to Friday. With a look at the roads at 532. How's it going, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we do have stop-and-go traffic on the northeast side. It is eastbound 465 Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. Inbound 65 on an 8-minute delay from MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go from Belmont into the South Split. Looking at southbound 69, stop-and-go from 106 to 465. East side northbound 465 slows after 70 up to 75th Street. And the south side eastbound 465, bit of a grind through the I-65 ramps. After that, you're gone. Traffic sponsored by B-Window this month at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B-Window. Proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A few showers possible in the early tonight with lows falling into the upper 30s under mostly cloudy skies. Thursday, cooler and breezy with the potential for some spotty showers during the daytime hours. Highs will be in the low 50s. I'm Lush TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here with a very special guest on the hotline.
He is an investigative reporter at the Daily Signal, and he's also the host of the Tony Kennett Cast, right after our show, 7 o'clock here at 93 WIBC. Tony Kennett joins us. And Tony, as someone who is an investigative reporter, tell me if I'm being a little bit impatient here, because I want the information so badly, but either release the Epstein list or don't even tell me that you have it. What are the two? Because I'm tired of waiting. Is this how it works in the investigative journalism world, Tony?
I really wish. We actually talked about this last night on the show. We had kind of a come to Jesus moment, because I absolutely want the Epstein files, the Diddy files, the JFK assassination files. I want all of the files released.
The Rockford files, get them out there too, damn it. Let's go.
So I really want all of these things out in front of the American public. I do. And by the way, Pam Bondi did release a statement right around the time of the confirmation of Kash Patel. And she said, look, we know that everybody wants them. We want to get them out to you, but we have to read them first. This isn't like they're just all on like a computer somewhere in the file, and there's like a little computer file folder that says the Epstein list. It isn't quite like that. As you guys know, we were storing the federal retirement accounts in a huge limestone mine in West Virginia on paper.
Yeah.
The Epstein files, unfortunately, is a lot like that. They got to read it. So I'm going to give them another week or two before I also, like you, grab my torch and pitchfork.
Because the way that I'm looking at this is, then just don't tell me that you have it. Just say we're working on getting it. And then once you've done all the work, once you've done, the skimming through and you've got the names, then you put out a bulletin. Hey, 5 p.m. today, we're dropping the list, because that gives people less time to think that something squirrely is going on or deals are being made behind the scenes. Am I wearing too much of a tinfoil hat here, Tony?
I would say that part of it has to do with double agent syndrome. So in the Cold War, we had a really huge mess because we would have individuals who would claim to be only doing something or only involved or in communication with someone that was doing illegal activities. And then they would tell the authorities of the United States, well, we were just collecting information for you. And in many cases, they would then actually have data that showed they had actually submitted information on the Soviets' movements to the United States. Well, the problem is, were you also doing that for the Soviets? With the Epstein list, it's kind of the same thing. There's a list of individuals who are supposedly informants who helped bring Epstein to justice before Hillary Clinton offed him. And there's a lot of other stuff in that you kind of got to sort through whose names do we release and who don't we.
The thing is, something else we have to remember, Donald Trump, his first time around, his first presidency, he said he was going to release all the JFK files, and then Pompeo got a hold of him and said, and it didn't happen. Any chance of that happening this time? I mean, is that a possibility?
So I do think that we are going to get a lot more transparency on the JFK files than we did the previous time.
I'm more worried about Epstein than I am JFK, by the way. I'd rather see that, but this is
Diddy too.
Bigger picture here. Are we going to wind up disappointed?
Well, it depends on what you mean. Well, do I think that 9/10 of the Epstein files are going to be released? Yes. Do I think there's going to be a tenth that people are going to have questions about? Absolutely, but we don't know. What individuals were genuine informants and who was just turning a blind eye so they could make extra cash. That actually takes more investigation, and Biden's team wasn't investigating that at all. They had basically shut the door on it and said, best to leave sleeping dogs lie.
Chatting with Tony Kennett, investigative reporter for the Daily Signal and host of the Tony Kennett Cast. Keeping it in the world of Washington here, I saw liberal heads melting down because it sounds like now the White House reporters in the pool are not going to be selected by the Correspondents Association. First of all, what does this mean, Tony? And second of all, why are people like Jamel Hill melting down that the Correspondents Association no longer has a say in the press reporters that can cover an event at the White House?
So the WHCA is kind of like a union school marmy organization that is supposed to be staffed by a diverse group of journalists who basically help decide to keep things orderly inside the press briefing room as well as in the private office pools that follow the president around or that catch a ride on Air Force One, things like that. The problem is that the organization became run by very far to the left individuals who were basically sitting back on these large piles of cash and censoring anyone that they didn't like.
The people that told us Joe Biden was fine, right, Tony? Those are the people that the Correspondents Association was allowing in?
Well, it's also who they weren't allowing in. So, for example, 2 years ago, the White House under Joe Biden out of nowhere changed what they called their requirements for those in the White House press briefing room. And it just so happened, amazing how this just so happens to work out, it ostracized over 400 individuals who would be considered on the right from being in the room, including my colleague at the Daily Signal, Fred Lucas. No one had a thing to say then, but now all of a sudden the WHCA is no longer allowed to gatekeep, and anyone from any newspaper, like WIBC, for instance, if you guys wanted to send a reporter to the White House, you could. You don't have to get the WHCA's approval anymore, who they turn down everyone all the time that isn't the AP or CNN. Now the media is throwing a fit about it because they're not special anymore. That's what it all boils down to.
Let me piggyback on something. You just mentioned the AP, the Associated Press. They are kind of out of the loop with the White House press at this point for not referring to the Gulf of America as the Gulf of America. They still say Gulf of Mexico. We don't have to get into the weeds on that one, but basically the White House has said, hey, you're not coming back until this happens. Fox News, I believe Newsmax has petitioned the White House to let the AP back in because this sets kind of a weird precedent. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, from somebody that's an investigative reporter, not letting the Associated Press in, keeping them in the loop, kicking them out of certain briefings because they're not using the terminology that the White House wants them to use when it comes to the Gulf of America and or the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, there's two things you got to keep in mind here. Number one, they're not banned from the White House press briefing room at all. They're not. They're just not given a special super little princess seat of honor in the Oval Office.
In the Oval
where there's
Office,
like
yes.
10 journalists in, or on Air Force One. Those are reserved spots.
Yes.
And only really big organizations usually get in there because then they wire out to everyone else what has happened. The problem is that twofold. Number one, these little journalist institutions, they don't want to cite the Daily Signal or the Daily Wire or Breitbart in their media. They want to cite each other. Now, they're fine with us citing them, but not the other way around. Too bad. And number two, the AP, and this is the real crux of the issue, the AP changed its editorial standards on what to call illegal immigrants, on how to paraphrase Biden's economy, at the request of the White House during his administration all the time. But all of a sudden, they don't want to play by that game. So the White House is trying to force them to say, okay, well, either admit that you have bias and are therefore not straight news, or at least start taking everyone's recommendations instead of just whatever administration your staff voted for.
And you used the phrase play the game. And I think that's so accurate because I think it's kind of hilarious that the same people on the Associated Press, Tony, that are throwing a fit, I will never call it the Gulf of America. It's the Gulf of Mexico, are also the same people that will refuse to say that Bruce Jenner is Caitlyn Jenner now, right? You can't have it both ways. If you're going to say it's the Gulf of Mexico, fine. Then that's Bruce Jenner, then, right?
Yeah, the crew that was all for the renaming of the Cleveland Indians and the Redskins and teams of those things, who was all for removing the Indian girl from the Land O'Lakes butter and Aunt Jemima from the syrup bottle.
Yeah. Against the family's wishes, mind you.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, against the Blackfoot tribesmen that designed some of the Native American imagery for a lot of those logos. Again, that's totally fine to change, but God forbid we change something from the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, the poor Gulf of Mexicans, I guess, who are mourning in the street.
Like, if there's somebody out there that's like, listen, I will refuse to say the name of anything new, because I'm kind of like that with Deer Creek, okay? So maybe I'm being hypocritical here, but it just seems like it's an odd flex. We will never say this name that you want us to say. But by the way, Caitlyn Jenner looks beautiful. Well, who did Caitlyn Jenner used to be? You can't have it both ways, can you?
No, I don't think so. And I guess from a different, when I was a kid, it was always Conseco Fieldhouse. That's just what it's ingrained in my mind to be.
Sure.
Now someone says Banker's Life Fieldhouse, and I'm like, what the heck is a Banker's Life? What are you talking about?
It's not even Banker's Life anymore.
Cambridge now.
Banker. Who cares? Exactly. I don't care. It's still Conseco to me. I literally just saw a show there. I don't care.
The Pacers play at Deer Creek. That's what we've learned here. Come back for one more segment, Tony.
Sure.
The Tonus, Tony Kennett with us. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
February is ending. Hooray. And spring will be here soon. We hope at least. Let's add reviewing our financial portfolio to our spring cleaning list. This one we can check mark early. Matt Bear here. Hi. Trajan Wealth can give you a second opinion on your financial situation. It will help you assemble a portfolio that says, this is me. These are my dreams. Call for a consultation. The first one is free. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. The fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth want to get to know you, earn your trust, and then help you into a diversified portfolio focusing on growth and low-cost investment options. Trajan is a veteran-led organization and is committed to going out of their way to solve their customers' problems. Call and schedule a consultation at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first consultation is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
He's not just a real estate agent. He is a real estate expert. Mark Dietl, the only real estate expert I would trust and recommend with the sale of my home. How about Katie and Chris in Perry Township? Sadly, their marriage had ended. They were both ready to sell and move forward as soon as possible. Mark Dietl made it happen fast and easy. Their home sold for more than they anticipated in 24 hours with 17 showings and multiple offers.
Mark Dietl is the best in the business because of the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is what separates Mark Dietl from the competition. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietl today. At least start a conversation. 317-755-4232 or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center by offering the expert, compassionate care you need.
When I was at my lowest, I would have 2 or 3 nurses come in to give me a pep talk, telling me it's okay to feel this way. It's normal, but you have us to support you and you will get through this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
True Green. Get a golf course quality lawn for less than you think. Sign up at truegreen.com. That's TRUgreen.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Bear and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65 stop-and-go from 21st Street to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by B-Window this month at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B-Window, proud to be employee-owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
59 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Tony Kennett. He is an investigative reporter at the Daily Signal, joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. How are you following this IRS story? The IRS admitting some anti-Trump employee leaked data on like thousands of filers. Are you keeping up with this story?
I am. There was this guy named Little John, which is a very bad name if you're being sent to federal prison. This guy named Little John had leaked a lot of information, including, by the way, President Trump's tax returns and things, to the New York Times and to ProPublica and other left-wing institutions. And he is, of course, now he's in federal prison 5 years. But there's something about this that I want everyone to pay attention. The real reason, or one of the key reasons, that you are seeing the left, as in the Democrats in the Senate and the House, as well as in the media, losing their minds. And I mean going bat bleep crazy over all of the Trump firings of federal employees, is because they are now losing people like Little John. All of the people who were leaking things about ICE raids and leaking things about Republican politicians and leaking things about everyday Americans on the right they didn't like, they're all fired. So who do they have to leak them illegal information anymore? What, Pelosi? Well, she's too busy playing NVIDIA stocks with Elizabeth Warren.
How do you think Doge is doing, just generally speaking, from the outside looking in, your analysis of Elon Musk and some of the things he's been able to cut from the federal bureaucracy?
So the media staked their entire fighting back against Trump this term on Elon Musk and Doge. Yeah. And it is so not working, it's not even funny. According to two different polls, one from Rasmussen through kind of a private news organization, and then a Harvard-Harris poll, Americans overwhelmingly support the Department of Government Efficiency and cutting organizations like the Department of Education and the IRS especially. So what he's cutting so far, what he's found, the media is trying to claim 4 or 5 things at once. Some say it doesn't exist. Some say, yeah, it does exist, but they don't like how he's doing it. Some say, oh, that's really necessary, and he's cutting like Medicaid and things, and it's going to leave Americans and grandmas dying in the street. No. They have no idea what to call it. So it really leaves the entire country in a disjointed state where the left doesn't have a seat at the table, and all we really are waiting on is watching Elon continue to reveal more waste, fraud, and abuse.
Donald Trump's poll numbers still pretty good. Took a little dip, but he's still doing incredibly well, much better than his first term. You're also seeing some folks on the left, like Stephen A. Smith, calling out high-ranking Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries, saying, listen, the arguments you guys have, like the one you just talked about with Doge, or bringing up January 6th every 5 minutes. You've got Bill Maher calling out, hey, it's not a winning argument when you're siding with dudes playing women's sports. Are you surprised you're seeing so many Democrats bringing that to the conversation now? Folks that you never would have heard them say that a couple of years ago, but now Democrats with big platforms, they're calling out some of these politicians.
So am I surprised to see those in the kind of the left-wing media enterprise calling this losing strategy out? Not really, because there comes a point where if you ever want to win an election again, you got to stop with the dudes in lingerie putting little kids on their lap at the library. That isn't popular with any demographic except for like single wine-drunk women. Other than that, like liberal suburban demographic, it's unpopular with everyone. The weird thing for me, and I'm trying very hard to wrap my head around this, but it is difficult, is to see the left desperately clinging, every politician saying, no, we need this. We need the transgender, furry, diaper-wearing, mask-wearing people to be a part of our party, because that's the only enthusiastic Democrat out there. So I'm still shocked watching this. It's just, this is going to be a slow death.
Follow him at The Tonus. His show is The Tony Kinnett Cast right after ours, 7 o'clock, 93 WIBC. And check out his work at dailysignal.com as well. Tony, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. They have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Heating costs are out of control right now. You can bet the warmer it gets, the more energy you'll use for your air conditioner this spring and summer. You need a long-term solution to save money and to save energy. I'm talking about Window Nation. I have Window Nation windows. I'm a Window Nation customer. Right now, 50% off all style windows plus 0% interest for 5 years.
Window Nation only sends the best of the best out to your home. They all have great ratings from the Better Business Bureau. They all have multiple years of experience. They measure multiple times. They get it right the first time, and they get out. I know this because I've seen it. I am a customer. And right now, at Window Nation, find the style that you like. Any style of window, 50% off. Half off all styles of windows, plus 0 interest for 5 years. Hurry, this deal ends in just a few days. WindowNation.com, 866-90-NATION. Be sure to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. Have you been dreaming of kitchen updates since the new year began? My friends at Hope Plumbing want you to love your plumbing. Update your faucets, fixtures, water heaters, and more with a $100 off a $500 plus plumbing service. Make your remodel dreams or small home update wishes come true and start to love your plumbing again. Call and